Okay. We'll be starting with the ailing planet, open Hornbill. Okay. First of all, tell me the meaning of ailing. You can tell me the meaning of ailing.
Ma'am, the meaning of ailing is, ma'am, poor health.
Poor health, very good. Poor health or ill. Okay. So ailing is that. So when I say the ailing planet, I'm basically talking about the Earth. I'm talking about how Earth is getting ill every single day. Its health is getting worse day by day. Okay. So now this chapter is not a story. This is not a narrative. This is not a poem. Okay. So this chapter is basically an article that was written by Nani Palkiwala in 1994. Okay, this article was published in 1994 in the Indian Express. Okay, and it was written by Nani Palkiwala. So the thing that you need to know about this person is that he was an Indian jurist and an economist. Now, who is a jurist? Who can tell me the meaning of jurist? Jurist.
Ma'am, a jurist is a person who gives a judgment.
Yeah, jurist is basically is the person who has an expert knowledge of law. Okay, who has expert knowledge of law. Okay, so now when he published this article, now when we write an article, why do we write an article? Not for the academic purposes I'm talking about. I'm talking about in general. Why do we write an article? We write an article around a topic so that we think that it might make a change in the world, right? If I'm writing about a something, if I'm making people aware about something, I might feel that this will make some kind of change. Same way, when we read an article, we read it because we think that this might make some impact in our lives, right? So when this person Nani Palkiwala wrote this article, he thought that people might become aware of the earth's condition. Right. So now this article was published in 1994 and today is 2021. Do you think is there any kind of change that has happened? Has the condition got better of the earth, or is it still the same? Is earth still getting ill day by day?
It's worse.
It's worse. Yeah. The condition has not gotten better. Okay. The issues that he raised regarding the declining health of the earth continue to have relevance. Now, tell me this one thing. What do you think is wrong with the earth? What do you think is wrong with the earth's environment? Okay, or anything. What do you think it's wrong with the earth? Tell me this. Just
Ma'am, due to global warming, the
global
glaciers are
warming.
constantly melting and the temperature is rising.
Very
Ma'am, it
good.
is
Global
affecting
warming.
the species, existing species, they are becoming extinct.
Okay, very good. So one is global
And
warming.
it is affecting human life by causing unprecedented disasters such as earthquakes and floods and leading to very hollow foundations, ma'am. It is affecting the land too. So whatever we are building on that is also
It's
on
also
a
getting,
hollow foundation.
yeah, very good. So one is global warming. Another thing that is wrong with the environment. Anything else? Pollution. Yeah, in pollution, like soil, land, air, water. Okay, and then we have overpopulation, we have deforestation, we have climate change. What is climate change?
Ma'am, a permanent change in a ma'am in a place's climate.
Okay, so climate change is basically melting of polar ice, change in seasons, new sicknesses, change in the general climate situation. Now, which should happen naturally, but now it is happening fast and this is happening because of the human activities. Okay, then we have ozone layer depletion. Okay, so basically there are a lot of environmental concerns that we have nowadays. Okay, one cannot recall any movement in world history which has gripped the imagination of the entire human race so completely and so rapidly as the Green Movement, which started nearly 25 years ago. In 1972, the world's first nationwide Green Party was founded in New Zealand. Since then, the movement has not looked back. So now there was a movement, the Green Movement. Now, the thing that you need to know about this is that this movement was not restricted to one person or one country or even one continent. This movement was for entire humankind. Okay, this one was for entire humankind. Okay, and it was started in 1972 in New Zealand. Okay, we have shifted, one hopes, irrevocably from the mechanistic view to a holistic and ecological view of the world. It is a shift in human perceptions as revolutionary as that introduced by Copernicus, who taught mankind in the 16th century that the Earth and the other planets revolved around the Sun. For the first time in human history, there is a growing worldwide consciousness that the Earth itself is a living organism, an enormous being of which we are parts. It has its own metabolic needs and vital processes which need to be respected and preserved. Okay, so now we have shifted, one hopes, irrevocably. What do you mean by irrevocably? What do you mean by irrevocably? Anyone?
Can you repeat? You are not audible.
Okay. Am I audible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. What do you mean by irrevocably? Which cannot be reversed. Yeah, irreversible, which cannot be reversed. Okay. Now, first we had this mechanistic view of the world. Now, what was the mechanistic view of the world? Was that we are living in this world and this entire world is for us. Okay, so everything that exists in the world is for our needs and wants. So all the resources, the environment, it's for us. Now we have shifted from this view to a holistic and ecological view. Holistic is when you believe that everything is connected to each other. Okay, an ecological view of the world would be that now we have shifted from that perspective, mechanistic perspective, to this perspective that now it needs to be saved. Now it's not like it is for us, we also have to do something for the world. Okay, so that is holistic and ecological view of the world, that we need to preserve our environment. Okay, it is a shift in human perception that's revolutionary, as that introduced by Copernicus, who taught mankind in the 16th century. Now, who was Copernicus? Copernicus was a Polish astronomer. Okay, he was the one who put forward the theory, and he made everyone believe that Earth and all of the planets revolve around the sun. Okay, he was an astronomer. Now, why are we comparing this article to what Copernicus did? Because as Copernicus theory again was not for one person, right? It was for entire planet, entire mankind, to know that our planet revolves around the sun. Okay, so that theory was for the entire human race. Same way, this is also for the entire human race, that the world needs to be preserved. It is not a single person's responsibility. Okay, it is not a single person's blame game. It is for the entire human race. Clear? For the first time in human history, there is a growing worldwide consciousness. Now, worldwide consciousness is when you are aware of something, right? Consciousness is when you are aware of something. So, what is the worldwide consciousness? That Earth itself is a living organism, an enormous being of which we are parts. Okay, so Earth is not something that you will think of just as a part, as land or as water body. No, Earth is a living organism which needs to be saved from us. Okay, the Earth's vital signs reveal a patient in declining health. We have begun to realize our ethical obligations to be good stewards of the planet and responsible trustees of the legacy to future generations. Now, here, why are we comparing Earth to a patient? Why are we comparing the Earth to a patient?
Because a patient seeks like medical help or like
Yeah,
the
Ma'am,
type of
because
like
it's
psychological
suffering.
help
Ma'am, Earth needs to be
that
treated
needs
as
our help.
well.
Yes.
Because it is suffering some from.
from an illness. Yeah,
Yes.
same. Yeah, very
Yes,
good,
ma'am.
very good. Like a patient is suffering from an illness, his health is declining. Same way, the Earth is also declining. When I say the Earth's vital signs are basically the signs that we discussed like just before global warming and everything. Those are the vital signs that reveal that it's just a patient in declining health. Okay. And now we have to realize it's our obligation, it's our responsibility to save the earth for our future generations. Now we say this that we have not inherited this earth, we have not inherited this earth from our forefathers, we have borrowed it from our children. Why do we say this? If we have not inherited this land, this earth from our forefathers, we have borrowed it from our children. Why do we say this?
Because we have like it's
Ma'am, I
been like
think this shows sustainability that we have to preserve it for the upcoming generations and not think of it as our own property.
Yeah, because we have to make sure that earth is still, survivable for our children. Because at the end, when we leave, they have to live here. It's their earth. Okay, if we end up killing it, there won't be any place for them to live on, obviously, right? So we have to make sure that they find a planet that is still survivable. Okay, now what is sustainable development? You must have studied in this class 9th
Yes,
geography.
ma'am. Man,
What is
development
sustainable
that takes
development?
place without replenish. Ma'am, development that takes place keeping in mind the requirements of the future generation and without harming the environment.
Very good. So development that takes place where your needs are fulfilled, where the present needs are fulfilled, but you do not compromise the future of your coming generation. Okay, you do not compromise their future, and you also make sure that your needs are fulfilled. Now again, there's a distinction between need and demand and need and want, right? Need is basically what you need to survive, and want is basically your desires. So you need to use resources in such a way that your needs are fulfilled, and that's it. You do not overuse the resources. What are the two kinds of resources? Yeah, renewable and non-renewable. That is on the basis of the use. Yeah. So renewable and non-renewable resources are basically, is that limited or unlimited?
unlimited.
Limited. Yeah. So if we overuse them and there's none left for our future generation, that's on us. That's our mistake. Okay. The concept of sustainable development was popularized in 1987 by the World Commission on Environment and Development. In its report, it defined the idea as development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their needs. That is, without stripping the natural world of resources future generations would need. Okay, the definition of sustainable development is clear, that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their needs. Okay, without compromising their future. Okay. In the zoo at Lusaka, Zambia, there is a cage where the notice reads the world's most dangerous animal. Inside the cage, there is no animal but a mirror where you see yourself. Thanks to the efforts of a number of agencies in different countries, a new awareness has now dawned upon the most dangerous animal in the world. He has realized the wisdom of shifting from a system based on domination to one based on partnership. Okay, now see what happens is that the plants, just imagine a ladder. Okay, just imagine a ladder. Now, on the lowest level of the ladder, we have the plants. Okay, because they are on the land, they cannot move. Okay, so we have plants. Then we have flies and mosquitoes and all of that. Then we have the birds. Then we have the animals. And then on the top of the ladder, we have human beings. Okay, now when I say that human beings are superior to animals, why do I say that? Because see, human beings has this ability, or you can say they have the power of discrimination. Power of discrimination means that they can distinguish between what is right and what is wrong. They can discriminate between right and wrong. Animals cannot do that, right? Animals cannot do that. But human beings, whenever they take an action, they can relate, they can think whether it is right or wrong. They have the thinking capability, or as we say, as cognitive ability, where you can think. Okay, and so you can also think that what is right and what is wrong. Clear? So when it comes to the earth, now relate this concept to the earth's condition. Whenever earth's condition was getting bad, human beings had this chance, or they had this decision to make, whether to go to a good side, the right side, or go to the wrong side. But they chose the wrong side, right? For example, deforestation. They had this decision to not cut the trees, or to not lose the habitat of the animals. Okay, but they went on the wrong path. That's why here it's written that the world's most dangerous animal is the human being itself. Because even though they have this thinking ability, they do not make the right decisions. They do not do the right thing. That's why it said that it's the world's most dangerous animal. Is that clear? Because when it comes to human beings, they can save the earth. Clear? Any doubt up till now?
Ma'am, I have a doubt in second paragraph. What does it mean that our ethical obligations to be a good stewards?
Okay, what are obligations? What do you mean by obligations? What is obligation?
Ma'am, the compulsory things that we have to do.
Yeah, obligation is basically your duty, and ethical is,
Ma'am, those passed down from our ancestors, forefathers.
yeah, ethical is basically your moral duty. Yeah, ethical is basically your moral duty. And stewards is basically like, if there's a train or a ship, there's a person who looks after all the passengers and all. That is called as stewards. So same way, that if this is a planet, okay, and we are the stewards of this planet, okay, that we have to take care of each and every human being, each and every living being on this planet. So it is our ethical obligation, it is our moral duty to be good stewards of this planet, and take this on us that we need to save it. Clear? So we have to be good, you can say, good people of this earth, right? It is
Okay.
our moral duty. It is our moral duty. Clear? Is it clear now?
Yes, ma'am.
Scientists have cataloged. Okay, no, this line. Yeah, so there's a cage. In that case, there is no animal. It's just written here the world's most dangerous animal. And there's a mirror, and in the mirror, you see a human being, obviously yourself. And then you realize that it's actually you because, as I said, that humans have this capability of thinking right, but they go to the wrong direction. Thanks to the efforts of a number of agencies in different countries, a new awareness has now dawned upon the most dangerous animal in the world. He has realized the wisdom of shifting from a system based on domination to one based on partnership. Now, what is a system based on domination? System based on domination is when man thinks that he can dominate the entire world. He can dominate the entire earth. The earth is for him, the world is for him, and he can do whatever he feels like. Okay, now he has shifted from this system to the one based on partnership, that I need to, that this is not only for me, this is for the entire mankind. Scientists have catalogued about 1.4 million living species with which mankind shares the earth. Estimates vary widely as regards the still uncatalogued living species. Biologists reckon that about 3 to 100 million other living species still languish unnamed in ignominious darkness. Now, we are not the only people in this planet, right? We share this with 1.4 million species, right? And there are still 3 to 100 million species that are not known till date. They have not been discovered. Okay, they are there, but we do not know where they exist. Okay, so they languish means that they remain weak, unnamed, and ignominious darkness because we do not know where they are. Darkness is obviously darkness. Ignominious is unknown. So we do not know. We are not enlightened as of now. We do not have the knowledge of these species. So we are making that also to a risk. Okay, we are risking their lives as well. Clear? Any doubt? Okay, please read till darkness, this page and this page, and let me know if there's any doubt. I'll ask questions. Please read, everyone. Please read it, everyone.
Ma'am, what was the meaning of language?
Language is getting weak.
Ma'am, then what does it mean to still be weak, ma'am? What does this line mean?
Where is it? Which line?
Ma'am, 100 other million species living still,
Still
still,
languish
yes.
unnamed. Yeah. So they are getting weak and they are unnamed. So we do not know where do they exist, where do they live. We know they exist. Okay. See, biologists find out every new species like every single day. Okay. If you really get into that study now, they find so many new kind of species. So there are still 3 to 100 million species. They are living, they are existing in this world, but we do not know where they are, and we are making them also weak, unnamed, in ignominious darkness. Unnamed because they are not known, and we do not know where do they exist, so we are not enlightened. That's why we are living in darkness. Clear? Just imagine, okay, just imagine that there is one species, okay, that is living somewhere in the earth, okay, and because of the environmental conditions, it is getting weak day by day, and we cannot help it, we cannot do anything, okay, because we have not discovered it yet. That's why it
Okay,
still
ma'am.
remains unnamed in darkness. Clear?
Yes,
Is it?
ma'am.
Ma'am, what was the meaning of ignominious?
Ignominious is basically unknown. Ignominious is basically unknown.
Okay.
Ma'am, someone keeps.
Wait, just a second.
Ma'am, please make everyone as an
Wait,
attendee.
just a second. Done. Okay, so this line is now clear that they are becoming weak because we are in darkness, we do not know. So it's getting ignominious because ignominious basically you can say unknown, that we do not know about them. And since we do not know about them, they are also degrading. Okay, they are also getting degrading. Okay, their health and everything is also getting degraded. Are you reading, everyone?
Yes,
Okay. Done? Read? Okay. Now tell me that who wrote this article, The Ailing Planet? Raise your hands. Who wrote this article? Yes, Vanshika.
Nani Palkhiwala.
And when was it published?
Nani Palkhiwala.
Yes, very good.
1972.
Okay. And 1994. 1994. Okay. And when was Green Movement started?
Now in 1972.
Which place?
New Zealand.
Okay. Now, who can tell me that why are we comparing this article to what Copernicus did? Why are we comparing this article to what Copernicus did? You can tell me this.
Ma'am, do I have to tell?
Anyone else wants to answer? Anyone else wants to try? Okay, Vanshika, tell me.
Ma'am, because it is also enlightening everyone about ma'am global warming.
About the environmental concerns. Very good. Since Copernicus theory was also one of the theory that made everyone, the entire mankind, be aware of a particular theory. Same way, this article is also making everyone aware about the environmental concerns. Okay. What is sustainable development? What is sustainable development? Very good. Who is the world's most dangerous animal?
Humans.
Human beings. Very good. Okay. One of the early international commissions which dealt inter alia with the question of ecology and environment was the Brandt Commission, which had a distinguished Indian as one of its members, Mr. L.K. Jha. The first Brandt report raised the question, are we to leave our successors a scorched planet of advancing deserts, impoverished landscapes, and ailing environment? Now, what do you mean by inter alia? You can tell me the meaning of inter alia? Inter alia is basically amongst other things, right? Like we say this now. This includes this inter alia, this. So we are including one more thing among other things. So among other questions that was asked for the environment, okay, there was one more question that was asked regarding the environmental concern by Brandt Commission was that are we leaving behind the world which has caused and which has advancing deserts. Advancing deserts is basically every land is becoming a desert. Okay, impoverished landscapes and ailing environment. Again, the ill environment. Are we to leave the world this kind of a planet? Okay, so it was a rhetorical question, obviously. Okay, and this question was asked in a Brandt report. Okay, now any doubt? We people here itself. Any doubt? Anyone? Any doubt?
Ma'am, have you taken the attendance?
Yes. Anyone's attendance not being marked?
Ma'am, Siddharth. Yeah.
Ma'am, Jayant, ma'am, if I like if you are marked my attendance.
I'm Kunjal.
Okay, you joined late.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Siddharth, Jayan, marked. Jayan, Anshika. That's it. Kunjal. I'm just reading all the absentees. Just let me know if your attendance will be marked. Arav Grewal, Avnish, Aman, Ayush, Devansh, Galaxy, Kanha, Lenoy, Sahil Bisht, Sanket, Siddhant. That's it. Okay. Okay, first of all, you need to make notebooks. Okay, all of you, English notebook. It will be assessed and evaluated. So make sure you're making the notebook. Okay, and I'll check those notebooks, and I have sent an assignment. Okay, I send an assignment. So print out that assignment. It's uploaded on the Teams as well. Okay, print out that assignment. Okay, and we'll discuss that assignment. We'll do only selected questions in the notebook. We'll discuss all, but we'll do only the selected questions in the notebook.
Okay.
Okay, and we'll continue the chapter in the next class. Any doubt? Anything you wanna ask? Okay, then I'll see you in the next class. Okay, bye. Take care.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
ma'am.
Okay,
Thank
bye.
you, ma'am.
Okay.